Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to be me testing out the new Smoke and Mirrors palette by Glossgods. I actually really recently discovered this brand and I'm so into their eyeshadow quality that I bought another palette. About a month or so ago, or maybe a little longer, I did a video with their new neutrals collection with the new neutrals remix and vintage glam remix, and I really love these palettes. I mean, color stories, the quality, the shimmers, I'm into it. So when they released this for Black Friday, I was like, I really want to try it because I love a good smoky palette that isn't too gray, that isn't too deep, that still has some different options in there, and that is what this looked like. So I was like, I really want to try more from this brand. This is such a cute color story. I love the other palettes in this range. I'm gonna try it out. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get into the video. So the outside of this packaging is very similar to the other palettes that I have here in front of me. Very smoky, quite simple, but it gets the message across. I like it. It is sleek. I don't feel like it's the most inspiring packaging ever, but I like it. I have no complaints. It's good. It's sturdy. It's good enough, definitely. And then the actual inside, I think it's really interesting because yes, it is smoky, but it's also kind of rosy. It's also kind of just like cool tones. Like these shades are very like cool tone brown, and I feel like we have some different options here. You can even go a little bit more soft, a little bit more subdued, not that out there. But if you take this shade, for example, Up in Smoke, I think you're gonna get the most smoky look ever. What I personally love, and what maybe not everybody's gonna love about this palette, is that there is no matte black in here. For me personally, a matte black is a little bit too harsh, so I love that the deepest shades in here are not actual blacks, but they are a deep cool tone brown and a deep charcoal gray, and I'm really into that. So I thought this was the perfect smoky but not too smoky, still kind of wearable, but having the option to go like really all out for a festive look. This was just that kind of palette to me. So we're just gonna do a look. We're just gonna jump into it. So I'm already wearing an eye primer. I just put that on off camera, and I think I'm gonna start out a little bit rosy. I want to try out the rosy shades, and then I'm gonna go a little bit more smoky with the look. But I want to go like, I want to take some steps to get there to really see different shades. So I think I'm gonna start with the shade Stepping Stone, and then I'm gonna try Concrete Rose. At this point I haven't swatched it yet, so we're gonna see how it actually looks applied. So I'm taking a little bit of a fluffy brush. I feel like it pulls a little bit more lilac than I was expecting, but I actually like that. It is quite nice and pigmented. I feel I could get a little bit more pigment out of it if I took a different brush, but I like it. I hope you can see it on camera, but it does really show up on me. It's a really nice light kind of like stone lilac shade. I'm really into it actually. I like that. This is the type of kind of nude shade that I really love, and I feel like this would be really nice on the lid with an all matte look with some of these deeper shades in the crease. So that is nice. Really easy to apply, no complaints here. So for the next shade, I want to grab the more rosy tone and see if it's more vibrant or pulls more smoky on the eye. So let's see. I do feel like it pulls quite lilac, a little less like reddish rosy than I would expect looking at it in the pan. But I really love the tone of this. I really love this kind of tone. On me, it pulls lilac. I don't know, maybe if you have a different undertone. I have a cool neutral undertone, so I don't know how that would really influence it. Like my skin is pretty neutral in undertone, but I like this a lot. Gonna see if I can kind of build it. I feel like it has this nice amount of brightness. It's not too bright for a smoky palette, but it definitely adds a little pop, a little interest, something. exciting. And then I'm gonna take the same brush and I am gonna see which one I want to use to deepen up the crease before I choose what I'm gonna put on the lid. And I'm kind of interested. I think I'm gonna try the deepest shade, so the shade Smoky. I do feel like they look pretty similar in the pan, but this is a little bit lighter, a little bit more gray, and this almost has a little bit of a purpley undertone. It's a little bit deeper, but we're gonna see what happens on the eyes. So let's see how deep this actually is gonna be and if we can still build it on top of each other, because that's always the question with mattes. I have a little bit of fallout with this shade. It's falling on my cheek a little bit and it's a little bit powdery in the pan. I can see that it has some kick up over there in the palette. I do really like how this applies. I feel like I have to go in with those rosy shades a little bit to blend it out, because now it's like a little bit too harsh. But I do like the shade and how it meshes together with the rosy tones. It blends easily, but yeah, it's a little bit powdery, a little bit crumbly. I am just gonna go in with the shade Stepping Stone, which is the lightest one of the rosy shades, the rosy matte shades. Just gonna go in with that and kind of blend on top. I feel like putting those rosy shades underneath has made it a little softer for sure. Just gonna blend the edges a bit, and I feel like both sides aren't even, so I have to see how I can fix that. I feel like over here there's a little bit of product buildup. I'm trying to kind of like get that away because it's a bit too much gray on the edge. I feel like maybe I went in with a bit too much too soon. Okay, I took a bit of it off and I'm gonna try and blend that again with the blending brush with the rosy shade. I feel like it still looks a little bit off, the blend. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if I can still fix this. Looks a little bit weird. Just like there's a line over here, but I feel like I don't really see it in real life, but on camera it looks a bit odd. Maybe it's more the lighting of the camera than the actual shadow having a problem with blending. See if we can deepen this side up a little bit more to even things out. Okay, at this point I feel like I can't get it much deeper than this. I definitely have to try out this shade without the rosy tones underneath, because I would have expected it to look darker, for it to be more of a deepening up shade to really add that depth, but I'm not really getting that right now. It's still a little bit soft. Not exactly what I expected. Could be because of the technique. But yeah, it wasn't as effortless to get the look that I want as I expected. Alright, let's see if we can make this look a little bit more smoky. I'm gonna put a little bit of Up in Smoke with my finger on the outer corner and just see what happens. Okay, this is such a cool shade. It's really like gunmetal, and the way I see it right now, it almost has a bit of a bluish, cool toned reflection, and it looks really, really cool. I wasn't expecting to like this shade as much, but now that I'm applying it, I'm really into it actually. Okay, I really like that. I hope you can kind of see it. It's really cool. Okay, for the next step, I think I'm gonna go in the shade Reflection, and I'm gonna put that in the middle of my lid. And this is more of a rosy metallic. So Up in Smoke is definitely a shimmery shade. This seems a little bit more smooth, but still there's some texture there. It's still interesting. Okay, I think I would really love this shimmer for an everyday look. Now I feel like it's kind of not as apparent how pretty it is because I put it next to the blackish gray charcoal shade, and that one is a little bit like grabbing the attention a little bit more, but I feel like this one is really pretty. Really nice. I think for the last shade for the lid, I want to go into the shade Looking Glass. And this seems to be a multi-chrome, and it's very smooth, and it seems to have like yellow, green, pink, a very like whitish base with a bunch of like multicolor shifts in there. I hope you can kind of see it. But this is a really cool shade. I feel like you could use this with almost any look because it has those different bases in it. It will kind of adapt to what you're wearing. Okay, I really like that. That is a really cool shade. You can see that vibrancy. Very nice. I really love the shimmer so far. Definitely my favorite thing about this palette. And now for the lower lash line, I want to go into the shade called Smoke Show and just see how deep that will get if I don't put any light shade down first. Because I was going for smoky for once and I don't feel like I'm really getting that the way I was thinking. So let's see what happens. Well, this looks quite smoky, quite nice and smoky. Maybe I will add a little bit of this to the top as well and just see if that can kind of get me the look that I want. This one is also a little bit powdery. I am layering and smoking it out and I feel like it's kind of flying in my eye. I think we are achieving some darkness now. I do want to clean it up in a bit because it has gotten a little bit too messy, but we will do that in a sec. Now I just want to take a little bit more of a detailed brush and I'm going to take that same shade and I'm going to apply that over here and see if we can really make this look smoky. Okay, I feel like this is definitely the tone that really like deepens up and stands out a little bit more. It seems lighter in the pan comparing it to the other deeper smoky shade, but I feel like it really intensified it. But I still feel like the blend is not like effortless. The whole thing looks a little bit messy right now. I don't know, like I like everything, but those deeper grays, I just don't know how to feel. I just feel like there's kind of like this patch, a line here, where the eyeshadow is kind of stuck and doesn't easily, naturally blend out. And we kind of have the same thing here, like the edges are darker. And it just looks a little bit strange. Well, that's better. That actually fixed it a bit. Okay, I feel like right now, I quite like this eye. I feel like it's looking pretty good if I just clean it up a little bit. But this is kind of messy. I'm just gonna do my inner corner shade and the shimmer I want to put on lower lash line. And then I'm gonna go off camera and see how I can kind of fix these parts of the look, because now I'm going a little bit crazy. So I'm gonna first put the shade Mirror Mirror, this shimmer over there in the inner corner. And this seems to be kind of like a light white-ish iridescent shade. It's very bright. I like it. And now for the lower lash line, I think we have to go into the shade Molten Metal. I'm gravitating towards Rock Solid, but I feel like this is supposed to be like so bright and shiny, such a bright silver. I really want to try it on the lower lash line and just see how I feel about it. So I'm gonna put a pencil brush in that. Okay, that's really nice. That is actually really nice. I would say the name is very fitting. Okay, I did get some in my eyes, but yeah, that's a cool shade. Alright, I am just gonna take my time off camera to see what I can do with this look, because I feel like this can be better. I feel like I can do better. This look, I just want to try and fix it a little bit. So I'll be right back. We'll do the rest of my makeup. We'll try to fix it a bit and then I will share my first impression thoughts. Okay, so this is the finished look, and at this moment I feel like I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with this palette. But I feel like the look is actually better than what it looks like now in the viewfinder. I feel like on camera it looks more patchy than it actually is. In real life it is just a bit patchy. It's just a little bit patchy. You can kind of see it. It's slightly messy. I couldn't really fix it. And I couldn't really make it so that it looks on camera like it is perfectly blended. But please let me know how you feel about the blend of these grays, like the deeper grays. I really tried. but I feel like I kind of failed. And I feel a little bit different about this palette than I feel about the other remixed palettes. With the other remixed palettes, I felt like it was so effortless, so easy. I didn't have any complaints. Here I felt like I had to work a little bit harder to get the look that I want. And you know, in the end, I quite like the look. And all the shimmers were amazing, the lighter mattes were amazing, but there's just something about what I did, the way I blended, maybe the brush that I used, maybe the way I put the gray on top of two other lighter mattes. I don't know, there was something that didn't exactly work with this look, and I'm a little bit thrown off by that because I thought that this was going to be my new favorite palette. I feel like there's still a lot of potential here because we have absolutely stunning shades, we have beautiful shimmers, and I love most of what I did on my eyes, but it just felt like a little bit of a hassle. Another thing, I felt like this look was gonna be deeper, but I just have to try out these dark mattes a little bit more and try them, blending them on first, then blending out the edges, seeing if that works better, if that gets me the wanted result. I'm just a little bit on the fence with this palette, but I feel like maybe it's not entirely deserved, but also I could be a little bit biased. I have to be honest. I was really looking forward to trying this palette, and because of that, I really wanna love it. Yeah, I feel like on camera, it just looks a little bit off, but in real life, when I look at in the mirror in real life, I feel like it looks pretty nice, pretty good, and I feel like I wouldn't really have a problem. But because it just took a little bit of time, a little bit of work to get there, I feel like it's not the most effortless palette ever. But at the same time, they're dark grays, usually a little bit hard to blend, usually a little bit harder to formulate. So I feel like my actual real verdict on this one, as always with first impressions, but for sure with this one, I feel like my actual real opinion, I have to take a little bit of time to really make up my mind. I just want to zoom you in again a little bit to show you what it looks like right now. I feel actually like right now it looks pretty good. Looking at it right now, I'm actually kind of happy with it. I'm just taking a little bit into my thought process because I am still processing. Sometimes it's just so easy to make up your mind. Sometimes you try a palette, you know, it's terrible. It's not good. I don't like it. I tried a few more times, but I already kind of know my opinion. Sometimes I try something and it's like my new instant favorite. And here I just have not made up my mind entirely yet. I was just expecting it to be a little bit different, but I do love most of the shades that I've tried. I do also want to note that this palette is limited edition. If you want to pick it up, be quick. It is still available. When I'm filming this, I think it's still going to be available for a little while longer, but yeah. It's gonna be limited edition. It's gonna be gone at some point. It's not gonna be around forever. So if you want to pick this up, I believe it's like 40 or something like that. You can use a discount code and it can, I think I got it for like 35 with a discount code, so that is pretty good. By no means do I think that this is a terrible palette, that this is a bad palette. I like the look that I did in the end. I think it looks good, but it was just a little bit of a hassle to work with, a little bit messy. It just felt like it took a bit more work than usually with my eye looks to do the look. Okay, I'm gonna end the video there. I feel like I could go on and on and on, but I just have to update you on this later on. I always do some updates, always update you on my newer makeup purchases, so keep an eye on that. And then that's gonna be everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.